Topping today's news, Prime Minister Davis in Montego Bay, Jamaica for the 49th meeting of CARICOM. It was a rough weekend as police investigate a murder, 2 traffic fatalities, an attempted suicide, and multiple armed robberies. A Bahamian male shot and killed in Tennessee, and police arrest 2 men in connection with the hit-and-run boating accident on Exuma of an American tourist last week. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Jurino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Prime Minister Philip Davis is in Montego Bay, Jamaica today, attending the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean community, that is, called CARICOM. The meeting is being held under the theme People, Partnership, Prosperity, Promoting a Secure and Sustainable Future. The summit is focusing primarily on the escalating security crisis in Haiti and the broader regional security concerns, with Caribbean leaders exploring urgent action to address the violence caused by armed gangs and its impact on the Caribbean region. Discussions will also cover climate change and climate financing, food security, and regional approaches to issues such as transportation, education, and governance. Prime Minister Davis is scheduled to return home to the Bahamas on Wednesday in time for independence. In the meantime, Chester Cooper, the Deputy Prime Minister, is serving now as acting Prime Minister. Multiple news stations based in Nashville, Tennessee, reporting that a 26-year-old Bahamian male was shot and killed after a dispute over rent at an apartment complex in Antioch on Saturday morning. Officers reporting to the apartment complex around 10:30 a.m. where they found the man who had been identified as Dante Jenner, a former R.M. Bailey student. He was suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to Vanderbilt University Medical Center where he died. A 31-year-old suspect surrendered to the police officers, was detained at the scene. Police were still investigating to determine if the victim also fired shots, as further investigations found that both the suspect and the victim were armed at the time of the shooting. Police said the suspect is in a relationship with the victim's roommate. Witnesses confirmed to police that there had been a dispute over rent leading up to the shooting. The 31-year-old suspect has not been charged as the investigations continues. On Saturday, police launched an investigation following the death of a 48-year-old woman here in New Providence who succumbed to her injuries while receiving medical treatment at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The preliminary report suggested that shortly before 3:30 a.m., the victim was allegedly attacked by a male known to her while at Watling Street. Subsequently, she was transported to the hospital by the ambulance, where she later died. In response, police arrested a 55-year-old man in reference to this matter. This is the now 45th person to be killed here in the Bahamas so far this year. Last Monday on the island of Exuma, 42-year-old Brent Slaw from Texas was struck by a boat while snorkeling in the area of Tar Bay and sustained severe injuries to his lower body. He was rushed to the local clinic before being airlifted to Miami for further treatment. Slot said he was snorkeling about 20 feet off the shoreline around 7 p.m. when he was hit by a small Boston whaler. He said he was dazed after being hit, but once he emerged from the water, he saw 2 men on the boat look back at him, but they kept going. Images of that boat were captured on surveillance camera by a nearby hotel. Exuma residents were outraged that the driver of the boat did not stop. Well, we can tell you that the police on Exuma have arrested 2 men, ages 55 and 21, in connection to that incident. They will be charged with grievous harm by negligence following that boating incident. Rules state that boats should not operate within 200 feet of the shoreline. Slaw had just arrived on the island of Exuma earlier that day with his wife and 2 daughters. Before he went out for that snorkeling trip, they were here to have a 10-day vacation trip to the Bahamas. And finally, in this segment, mental illness continues to be a growing concern. Police in Grand Bahama are investigating an alleged suicide attempt that occurred on Sunday, July 6, near a canal off Silver Point Drive. Initial reports indicate that shortly before 11:30 a.m., a 25-year-old male was attempting to take his life by hanging himself when he was prevented from doing so by concerned citizens. Police responded to the scene immediately, and he was subsequently transported to a hospital for medical evaluation. The investigations continues. This is now the 18th person on record who has attempted to take their own life so far this year. We'll be back with a look at what's happening on the other side right after this news break.